welcome back to my channel. Today is all about brows. So there's going to be two parts to this video. Part one is going to be talking about the products that I have for brows and talking about the products I've tried and have. There's going to be two parts to this video today. Part one is going to be about the products that you can use for your brows. Also, the products that I like, products I don't like, and just kind of a review over the products I've tried or have. And then part two starts here. It's actually going to be a demo on how I do my brows and also some quick tips that hopefully will help you do your brows. So the first product we're going to talk about is the product I actually started with, and I kind of find it the easiest. Not the most natural looking, but definitely the easiest, especially if you're starting out, in my opinion, is like a powder, any kind of powder. You can actually even use an eyeshadow. I know a lot of people that use eyeshadows. What I started with was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo. It's this one right here, and I have mine in the color chocolate. What it looks like is it basically, they have several different colors that will match your hair. So this one, it just has a mirror with it, a little mirror, which is nice, and then also a lighter side and then a darker side, so you can kind of mix and match. So this is what those two colors look like. This is the lighter color of the palette, obviously, of the duo, and this is the darker one right here. I used the lighter side when I was doing this. The chocolate color is a little bit of a redder brown, which I've noticed is pretty good for Latinas because we don't really have, well, I guess it depends on where you're from. I don't really have like black hair. I know it looks like it, but it's just because, you know, the difference between this color, which is my grown out balayage, probably not saying that right. But really it's kind of a redder tint to it, which is why anytime I try to go lighter, my hair tends to turn like reddish orange. But, okay, so that's why I chose the chocolate. I really do like this powder. I find it pretty easy to start out with as far as application. It's pretty simple, and actually when I was like literally like the first few times I did my brows, since I mean I do have a nice shape naturally, but I still wasn't sure like where to go with them. So I know that Anastasia also sells some, Anastasia Beverly Hills, that brand does, and several brands probably do, but what I used were the e.l.f. ones. They have these little stencil kits which make it really nice and easy for you to learn how to do brows. This kit comes with several different shapes, like little plastic shaping guides, stencils. So you would basically just take one of these and you would put it on your brow. So you would put this here, you would dip your brush in the powder, and then you would just fill it in. So then when you take it off, you would actually have what looks like a brow. So the two brushes I used to use with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder are actually brushes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. One of them has a spoolie on the end with the brush on the other end. Like I said, I don't really know where mine are. I need to find. So I found one of my brushes. The first one I actually purchased and was using. It's all rubbed off now from me using it so much, but it's an Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't know which one it is, but it's the one that has the spoolie on one end and then this tiny little brush on the other end. Then I actually ended up purchasing a different one. It didn't have a spoolie on the end, but it had like a bigger brush. So then I got faster at it the more that I practiced. Although this small one is nicer for creating fake hairs if you don't have too much. Okay, on to the next product. Then, so the powder kind of just makes it look very flat and matte, which doesn't really look like a natural brow. So after that, then I purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills gel or brow gel. I wanted the clear, but for some reason when I was in there, I just ended up purchasing the chocolate colored one. So I got the tinted brow gel. I really like this. Honestly, it's a step I cannot leave the house without if I do my brows. But the only downside to having a tinted one is the fact that when you're using it and you're kind of in a rush, or not even in a rush, and you're like putting the finishing touches on your brows, it's really easy here in front to kind of touch your skin. And if you touch your skin, then you've got this sort of thing. With the clear one, I feel like you would have no clue if it touched your skin or not, which would be nice because you'd be able to done. Instead, you have to really like kind of start in the middle of your brow. That way most of the product is off by the time you get to these hairs right here. Not off, but at least off the tip. So the next product I want to talk about is that I had kind of been looking for a cheaper option from the Brow Wiz because I really wanted to try a Brow Wiz like product, but I really didn't want to throw down any more money since I'd already spent quite a bit on those two brushes from Anastasia Beverly Hills plus the brow powder duo. So then I actually learned about this product, which is the Almay Brow Defining Pencil. It has a spoolie on one end, which is nice. I think it comes in brunette, black and blonde, and maybe dark blonde. Also has the same type of little dispenser pencil as the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I really like this product. I used it for quite a few months. The only issue I have with this one is it skips a lot. It's not very fluid. It's just not very silky or smooth. It kind of leaves skips. Too waxy, because I know that there has to be like a fine line between too waxy and not waxy enough for a product when it comes to eyebrows, because you want them to look as natural as possible. The next product I want to talk about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This one I bought in a lighter shade. I have it in soft brown. I tried the defining one, but I think that my brows are too thin perhaps for the defining one because I just felt like it was just like a big Sharpie. I couldn't get a very natural look on that. I think I like a little more control when it comes to a pencil. So I really do like this one. I think that the waxiness and the smoothness are just right on the product. Is it worth the price? I thought so. Until I tried the next one that I'm going to talk about. And before, no place around me carried it, so I really hadn't tried it before. And when it comes to makeup, I don't really like ordering online. I like to have it now. I know I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not crazy. But this is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And this one I bought in the color Brunette. It kind of has a little bit of a reddish tint, just like the Anastasia Beverly Hills chocolate color. That's what I would kind of compare it to. The Anastasia Soft Brown is a little bit lighter, maybe a little tiny bit ashier as well. But the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, I really think it is a complete dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills ones because I think the formula is almost identical. Honestly, if I had the exact same color in both and someone used them on me, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference even up close on which one was which. So I know that the NYX Micro Brow Pencil is so much cheaper. I think it's like $9.99 versus, I want to say this one's around $21. I don't know, I'll have the prices somewhere listed anyways in this video, but I do know that this one's $9.99. Definitely worth it. I mean, this is amazing. Honestly, the Almay one is excellent, but it's $8.99. So I think that for that extra $1, I would definitely go for the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. The only problem with this one is that it's only sold, I think more CVS's are starting to sell it, but before it was only sold at select CVS's and Ulta's. and maybe even Target. A lot of times though, when I go to my Target, it's completely ransacked of all the NYX products. So I don't even go there when I need something from NYX. Now I go to the 2 CVS's that I know carry it in my area. So now what I've been using is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And then at the end, when I'm done, like after setting my face and everything, that's when I go in with the tinted brow gel to kind of slick back the hairs so they're more noticeable. Kind of like when you put gel in your hair, it makes it like wet and like just more noticeable, like the little individual lines. That's what it does to your brows. So it really, I mean, it's the perfect finishing detail. Another product I've purchased recently, by recently I mean probably like a month ago, but I've only tried it once. It's the NYX Eyebrow Gel, which is supposed to be waterproof. I wanted to try it out before I went ahead and like purchased one of the Dipbrow pomades from Anastasia Beverly Hills, just to see if I would like this type of look. I honestly can't even say that I've used it enough. Like I said, I've only used it once, so I don't even have an opinion yet. If you've tried this product or tried the Dipbrow, I would appreciate if you left me a comment and just let me know how you feel about it and what are the pros and cons in your opinion of using the Dipbrow versus the Brow Wiz, or even like, you know, a brow pencil. Because I believe those are all waterproof, and I don't know if any of the other pencils are waterproof or not. Well, anyway, that really concludes part 1, and now on to part 2.
We're going to start off by taking the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Brunette. We're going to take that and we're going to start brushing our hairs up on the spoolie end. And then with the pencil end, you're going to start by using short strokes to create a fuller line underneath. You don't want to just go in with a harsh line. This makes it more natural by just doing short flicks. You're going to extend the brow as far as you want it to go. And if you make any mistakes, you can actually just brush them away. And then I brush the hairs down on my brow. That way I can see where I should draw the top line. I actually do have hairs up there, but they're just not very dark or pronounced, which is why I'm just following my natural brow shape. And now I'm going to brush the hairs down with the spoolie of the front of the brow. That way I can really make sure those are pressed down so I can create a more natural looking line, versus when if you have the hairs up, then it just looks completely fake. And basically, once in a while you want to go through, you'll see me doing this a lot, but I just draw and then I'll take the spoolie, which kind of disperses the product a little more. That way you don't have any harsh lines. And I know it kind of looks like I have harsh lines, but by the end, they will all be dispersed. And now I'm taking the Brow Wiz and pressing down a little bit harder to create more lines to fill in the front, so that way it actually looks like hairs. And then I extend my eyebrow tail, but I make sure that it still is kind of upwards. That way it gives my eye a lifted appearance instead of making it look droopy and smaller. And now I'm just going to continue going back and forth between filling in and then brushing it out. And I'm just going to fast forward a lot of this. I'm not going to cut any of it out, that way you can still see the process. Now I do understand that I'm very lucky and I have a nice natural brow shape and I have plenty of hair there. Not everybody does. So there is a way you can find where your brow should go. So you're going to take your brow pencil or any kind of pencil or anything, you're going to put it against your nose and then you're going to slide it over to your nostril, and that's where your brow should start, so you can create a line there. And now back to the center, and you're going to go above, like right in the middle of your pupil, where your pupil is. And you're going to create a line there, and that's where your arch should be. And then starting back at the middle again, you're going to basically follow the end of your bottom lash line, and that's where your end should go. That's what your shape should look like. Now let's see if my other one follows those rules. Well, the front does. And the arch does. And the end does. See how it just follows where my bottom lash line goes? And now we're just going to start with small, short flicks, connecting all of those lines together. And now that our brows are filled in, we're going to take the e.l.f. concealer brush and we're going to dip it into the NYX eyeshadow base in the color Skin Tone, which I love using because that way I can take the brush and that product and I can carve out my brows just by creating a line underneath. That way they look perfect under there. You can cover up any mistakes you did this way. A lot of people use concealer as well because you can use concealer at the top as well. But I like to keep it a little more natural looking, so I only carve out the bottoms and only with the eyeshadow base that I'm going to use anyways. Then I'm going to grab my Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush, and I'm going to buff that out. And I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel since I finished my makeup, and I'm going to gel up them brow hairs to set them for the day. And that's it. Your brows are done.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and like I said, leave me a comment below on any tips or tricks that you have as far as brows, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Today is super exciting. Gonna do some fun shit. How I do my brows, and I'm going to give you a little bit